Afternoon, everybody. Beth, how are you? Jessica's in here too, I take it. And like always, a little early. Oh, well, I'm going to have a little fun with YouTube during this live tonight. So I'm going to have a few pop up appearances from some metallic friends since we know that's their number one no rule. So expect that, right? Kind of aggravated about what they're doing to some other good channels. And with my language and half the stuff I've showed, I should have been striked out way before their channels, right? Hey, Joe. Good to see you, buddy. Well, if I can get this lighter out of my pocket, we'll be doing good. Yeah, especially, Off the Wall ain't really done nothing too crazy here lately. That was just bullshit. Don't get me wrong. He's touched on some toppy things, touchy topics there, but nothing no worse than anybody else. Good to see you. But Jessica, glad you can make it. All right. Yeah. Chat's a little hard to read tonight for some reason. But, as like I said, I'm gonna see if I can't break their number one rule tonight and see how many I can actually show off before they kick me in the boot. Well, I've got something going on a little closer. I'm about 50 miles from Oak Ridge, so I've been kind of watching that a little bit. The whole uranium fire going on at Oak Ridge, which Pinball's quite a bit closer than I am. That's right in Pinball's backyard. All right. Well, the title of tonight's, who's going to fill our. I heard that George Jones song today. Got me kind of thinking. Well, Watchman, as far as I understand, if this will make you feel any better, it's been pretty well contained, pretty much out, no no casualties. Well, we all know no victims, right? Because how many explosions this week? That's way, it's way too many for just coincidence. Somebody's having fun at our expense. Helps if you like to ride in, don't it? Well, like I said, was saying, heard the George Jones song today. Well, that's true too, Watchman. Got me thinking, a lot of the younger generation tend to sway toward the pink hair, blue hair, liberal, living in mama's basement, Who's going to fill our shoes? This is the last great American generation. This group right here. After us, we've all talked about this before. It's going to go to hell in a handbasket. We all know the liberal way of thinking. Well, most of us ain't hardly as big as you, Joe. Maybe close, but not hardly there. You got kids 35, 40 years old living home in the basement, right? Nobody wants to push them out of the nest anymore. Like our parents, grandparents, Hell, I'm still a firm believer. Yeah, right, Beth. Uh, the 1818 law. Anybody heard of that? So when you turn 18 years old, you got 18 days to get the hell out or start paying rent. That's the way it works here. Well, that's different, Joe. I mean, you're there for their benefit, right? Not there for your benefit. A little different there. Uh, you can understand if it's a symbiotic deal. If the one's helping as much as the others, that's a partnership, right? That's not a leech. Somebody that's too sorry to work, right? Well, that's true too. But like I said, Watchman, if everybody works together, you'd be surprised what you can actually afford. You can actually, get a dual apartment setup going on, and they're still living on their funds, and you're living on your funds, and everybody just kind of split the utilities. That's not like pink-haired Susie laying on Mama's couch until she's 45, or purple-haired Danny boy worried about his next nose piercing, asking Mama for cigarette money, right? And unfortunately, there's a whole lot of that going on anymore. Well, yeah, there's a lot of that going on, Beth. Like I said, but if it works out, everybody should be a contribution, not a hindrance. But I know this is going to get under some skin tonight. I'm sure there's a lot of mamas in the room. I apologize, ladies, but this is just how I feel about it. I know we all love our kids, but you got to use tough love. You can't always hide them behind the apron. Uh, you can't be the friend. You got to be the parent, and we got to make sure they can stand on their own when we're not here. And unfortunately, society ain't went that route. When the elders are gone, the youth are fucked. And I mean that in the politest way possible. Oh, yeah, I don't doubt it, Joe. I used to swear up and down my granddaddy's cane was magic, right? He could be sitting across a 20-foot room, and if you said something wrong, you was hooked and smacked about 4 times before you knew what went on. And like I said, it don't matter. He could be 15, 20 foot away, and yeah, that thing would grow. I swear it would. Then, you'd always hear that, do you need any more sense knocked into your head today, boy? Kind of at, question ringing in your ear. They don't get that anymore. It's, come here, honey. It's okay. I pay your electric bill, pay your car payment. You lay in my basement, play video games. Definitely, right? Uh, there's not enough parents teaching the hardcore values anymore. And that's leading to this liberal, broke back, mountain, limp dick living in mama's basement because they're too sorry to do their own. Evening, Klingon. Good to see you. Oh, well, I got something. Oh, a little sky there. It's starting to get uncomfortable. Yeah, a little 9mm. Oh, well, since he popped up, you might like this one, Joe. I bought this little Rossi today. Man, for a little Rossi, 38, tack driver. That's two. But back to what I was saying, the core values haven't been driven into the children, or they wouldn't have this liberal mindset. They wouldn't want to be controlled. they wouldn't want free living. They would be, well, like my last video, they'd be looking for the American dream, the bigger, the better. Uh, that's why I'm gonna get a little personal here. I could just about count the number of times on my hand I made my kids pretty much hate me. But as they've got older, they realized the lesson and they've come back and thanked me for it and apologized. You got to be hard on them. Well, firm. You don't have to be hard. I mean, you got to be a good parent. And sometimes that means hurting feelings sometimes. Because if we don't get them to where they can stand on their own and want to stand on their own, they're going to be controlled by the gov for the rest of their life. I mean, we brought in the perfect racist slaves, right? White, black, blue, whatever color you want to call it. They're all wanting that control, free living. Good to see you all. Bets are off. Glad you can make it. You like revolvers? A little Taurus Judge action there. Yeah, that's normally on my nightstand, but I figured I'd bring it over to the camera tonight. But that's how they're gaining the foothold that they've got, right? This whole transgender TikTok brainwash bullshit, it's got a foothold. Right? Uh, because once again, how many times have you seen? I mean, it started at a young age. You go through a store parking lot, say Walmart, Tractor Supply, some of the favorites, and you see this 5-year-old kid because mom or daddy said, "Here, watch a movie," right? Uh, it, we're a lot to blame for what's been going on. And it sucks when you realize that. We've used Google for the babysitter. Then, of course, first flashy lights is TikToks, and then they're hooked on that. And next thing you know, you're trying to explain to Billy Joe that he shouldn't be wearing Billy Sue's dress. But it's convenient. We fell victim to it. Exactly, Klingon. Uh, we're seeing the light, and the younger generations not been shown nothing to wake up to. Yeah, well, like I said, that's why I'm kind of seeing how many I can show off tonight, Watchmen. Uh, like I said, we all know it's their number one no rule right now. Like this thing scratching my shoulder right now. Ugh. Little Mauser. Yeah, the thing's been digging into my elbow for a minute. Let's move it over here. Ah, wow, looky there. in 15 minutes, 4 guns, I'm still going. See why it's nice not to be monetized, Joe? You can kind of get away with some shit. It's the ones on payroll that they like to hammer on. If they step out of line, they get smacked, right? We're still growing. They don't worry about us as much. But like I said, we got to get the younger ones to where they can step up. Because if we don't, hell, all the government's got to do is wait, what, another 10 years, 20 years? We're going to be too old to do anything about it. And, you know, pink haired Susie and purple haired Danny Boy with 15 piercings and mama paying for their cell phone, they're going to be, you know, bend over and give it to me, Big Daddy. And that's going to be the end of it. Trying to read chat here for just a second. Uh, Eventually, Watchmen, they're going to try to do away with the Second Amendment, period. That's why they keep chiseling on it so hard. They got to disarm us before they can take over completely, right? But like I was saying, you know, there's nobody left to fill our shoes. There's no reinforcements. So, I mean, even if we win the fight, 20 years from now, they're just going to loop around and start it all over. And, you know, you're going to have the free living crowd that says, oh, thank God I'm tired of working. I'm lazy anyway. And it's over anyway. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of the younger ones, yeah, just get some hogs, Watchmen, and remember to pick up the teeth, right? Well, like I was saying, Joe, that's, you know, that could be their game plan all the way around. Just wait us out a few more years, right? Evening, Paul. Good to see you. They've got it made. Oh, I was kind of hoping Awful Wall would show up, which he might be lurking. That way he kind of giggle at, you know, some of the things I keep in my boot. You know, like a little double barrel. That's 5. Still going strong. That's just it, Joe. It won't be a brave new world. It'll be a bunch of pansy asses living off of the government tip. And honestly, I see a lot of that going on day to day anyway. People sitting there waiting at the mailbox. Where's my check? My check come today? My EBT card, did it come today? Have you seen my HUD check? My Section 8 housing check? Have you seen that? Right, Beth? Or, you know, we're hearing a lot of talk about that here lately, the 15-minute cities, right? Could explain some of the explosions out in rural areas. It's not safe out here no more around all these factories. It's dangerous. You need to move to the city, right? Everything is contaminated here. You need to move toward the city. It's safer in the city, even though you can't walk down the street unless you're in full tack gear because of a drive-by. Well, Watchman, actually, if you're breeding a lot of chickens, you can throw styrofoam in the brooding pen and they'll pick it. They don't really eat it, they just pick at it, and that'll keep them from picking on the other Wheaties. I've seen that trick done several times before. Uh, don't seem to bother the chickens. Which now, granted, that was on a gamecock farm, so they wasn't going to eat the chickens anyway, right? Yeah, that's a big thing still here in Southeast Kentucky. Not proud of it, but it goes on. But anyway, so yeah, we're all going to have to get in. I mean, even if we're not parents, if we're uncles or aunts, we're going to have to get into the tough love mode, right? Uh, which teaching them some skills in the process, take them out camping, roughing them up a little bit, teach them what it feels like to go 2 or 3 days without a shower. That's enough to give half of them a heart attack right there. If they can't take a perfume bath before they go out the door, life just ain't good enough, right? Kills my sinuses. Hell, I hate public places. Well, just kind of keep an eye out. If it comes through the other end, Watchman, you should still be okay. Which, you'd probably have to ask somebody smarter than me on that. Uh, but I mean, if it seems to be coming straight through, don't be like, seem like there'd be a lot left in there, right? But yeah, I've seen that trick done. Chickens love styrofoam for some reason. I don't know the texture of it or whatever, but they tear it up. But like I was saying, that song got me kind of going, and I figured, well, what the hell? I'll do it live and throw it out there and see how bad I can piss YouTube off tonight. So far, it don't look like it's working. It probably would, Jamie. I don't want to try it though. Uh, where did I see that? Oh, they need more than a stepping stone, Jessica. At this time, I'm gonna use Trump's phrase, right? Warp speed. They need a boot in the ass, or we're gonna lose before it ever gets started. Uh, yeah, like I said, it's just if we don't get them up to speed quick. I mean, and that's our job anyway as parents to make sure they can stand on their own, think on their own. But the modern day babysitter, here's your cell phone, here's your laptop, here, go play your video game, has done more damage than what we realized. We let them, we opened up the front door and said, here, come on in. Here, let me screw off the top of my kid's head so you can just go ahead and climb in, right? Because they're not interested in nothing uh, outdoorsy. You can't beat a kid to go outside and play. It was almost 80 degrees today here. I never seen one kid outside today. Not shooting hoops, not just hell. On a pretty day, you can even see one. Normally see one sitting outside on his phone, but not today. They need to sit in there where it's darker so the screen's brighter, right? Of course, I'm a good one to talk. Here I am in front of this thing. Oh. Well, number 6. One of the most hated guns on YouTube, the SIG 320. Watch it. It might go off by itself. Yeah, that's in my boot too. Uh, common little, yeah, there's like 900 videos of everybody hitting the sig. I've had that thing 3 years now, carry it fully, which I is rarely carry anyway. So, of course, I've never had that problem. But yeah, you can check that out. It's, like I said, there's 900 videos. Yeah, the 226 is sweet. I just got a sweet deal on that one. Buddy needed a little cash, and I had a little extra. It worked out. Oh, that's almost too hot, Jessica. Don't get me wrong, I'm an old Southern boy, but 90's starting to get warm. Oh no, I don't rant about Israeli. Oh, you're gonna do one? Wear it out, Bubba. We can have a competition one day. It's just a millisecond of a difference between pull, and I've done got one in the two. You know, normally by the time I push somebody back, when I recoil from the push, I'm wrecking this lot. It's all on how you train, bub. And that kind of goes in. Kids ain't even out learning how to handle firearms anymore, right? A sig mosquito. Trying to think on that one. I think I know what that is. Oh, so what? We're up to 6 now? Okay. Yeah, we're just playing with little pistols. Right, right. Well, that's just the way. My grandfather was my father figure. My father had a fucked up deal and ended up on the wrong end of a 357. But so yeah, my grandfather kind of stepped in, and he was the one that showed me my aspect on everything. But yeah, and you can't have a live without a 45, right? Stoger import, 45 ACP. That's number 7. We're still kicking. Where's that YouTube rule? Where's that strike? Come on, let's have some fun. Right? Hey, Granddaddy was wicked. I mean, he could take a 22 long rifle bolt action, pop a sparrow while it was flying, right? Crazy. But yeah, folks, that was the whole point. Like I said, besides, good to see you, 500 Magnum. Uh, was just basically to aggravate YouTube a little bit because of what it's been doing to other channels. Everybody kind of be careful, stay on your toes. YouTube's being a bitch here lately. Uh, yeah, yeah. Good 45 is hard to beat, Joe. That one is older than dirt, uh, but still runs like no money every day. But let's smoke one more and see if we can't sneak in. I think I've got 4 or 5 more left. But yeah, and get the thought out there. Good evening, Loretta. Good to see you. Cat with a hat. Good to see you. We got to get this younger group up to speed because, like I said, even if something does kick off and we win the fight, they're still winning the war, and that's the end of it. I mean, that's if we can't get these kids off the government tip, get a little starch in their backbone, get rid of this Billy Sue wants to be Becky Sue and vice versa, this weird shit. Get some morals back in the world. Well, your brother must really like you. Oh, wait a minute. Just want to see how brother Can't wait to see how she handles it. Well, yeah, Springfield, pretty sweet little shooter. Okay, good to see you. Uh, and I would hate to just for it all to go to hell for no reason. I mean, if we regained our country, we don't want to lose it in a decade, right? There's no reason for getting nasty if you don't get to enjoy the party, right? Uh, and if anybody wants a cheap little truck gun, the Keltec PF9 in 9 mil. I think I give $200 for it. New in the box, 2 mags. It's loud, got a little snap, but and believe it or not, Pinball got a strike for the same thing about 2 weeks ago. Except for his was a uh, little Rattler 9 mil. Evening, Art. Good to see you. But yeah, I'm just playing with a few, Joe. If you're curious, there, I ain't even getting into the cabinet yet. This is just what I keep playing around the house, right? Uh, and like I said, that was getting into the warning there. If you've got channels, unless you just don't care, like me and Joe, most of the time just ranting or generally trying to piss somebody off. Uh, be careful because they're on a roll, and with this new chief come in, since the old one got retired, there's going to be some new regulations pop up on YouTube. They probably ain't going to be no better than the last ones. You probably won't be allowed to smoke on YouTube anymore. Shout out to Lucky Strike, right, Joe? Oh, but yeah, that, like I said, all that hit my head. Got the beans rolling around today from one little old song. Yeah, feed them beans, exactly. Understandable, Joe. Like I said, it's easier to have fun. I think I showed this one off here a while back. Heritage with the long boy barrel, currently chambered for 22 mag. I've got the other cylinder for 22 long rifle. Sets right down inside of a muck boot, real nice. If you just want to sit around the porch, shoot possums at night. Of course, that's anything's possible in Kentucky, right? But yeah, boys and girls, I mean, if you're just an aunt and uncle, get back to the main part of the chat here. I've kind of bounced around all night, but it seems to be a decent shooter, Joe. I mean, but hell, it's basically got a rifle barrel, right? Uh, right, cat. Uh, try to rub off some old school morals, some old school way of thinking on some younger folks. Hell, even when we was growing up, we had what was it? Be somebody's big brother, or hell, you could go hang out at the YMCA if you was in the city, and there was mentors there. They don't even have that today. They don't got nothing to fall back on to teach them anything decent. So unfortunately, after our generations, exactly, Joe. That's kind of the whole thought process behind this one. Not just strong men. And here's going to be a red flag for some women, but behind every strong man is a stronger woman. And that saying's been around for 1,000 years. So sorry, ladies. It's true. Uh, a strong man can do great things, but a strong couple can do amazing things. Uh, they bounce off each other, right? Or the good ones do. Well, while you're refilling, how about a little M&P 40 compact? I lost count. What is that? Number 7, 8? Is it 8? Anyway, uh, you know, kids ain't got nothing to do. Oh, now, Joe, there ain't nothing wrong with 40. Mainly for that reason is every cop in a 100-mile radius has probably 2 boxes of 40 in the trunk of his cruiser. Easy ammo. Thanks, Beth. Yeah, I'm thinking 8 too. Uh, well, it's the whole reload aspect of it. It's not my everyday carry. There, that'll get you going. That's my everyday carry. My Glock 19 stays in my go bag. There you go. Well, we got to make it an even 10. If we're at 9, little 22. Oh, wait a minute. I even cocked that one. Oh, shit. Little 22 Ranger. Ain't that the full auto? Or is it the Glock 18 that's full auto, Joe? I know one of them's full auto in this band. I can't remember which one. But yeah, boys and girls, that was the whole thought for tonight. Like I said, the 17C. Okay. Okay, the 18 is. Uh, Not most of the time, Beth. Be hard to walk with that much metal on your body. But let's see, I still got the 12 gauge pump in the kitchen, the 357 on the wet bar. Oh, the Ruger 40 on the end table. And that's pretty much was just around the house. Yeah, I'm a gun nut. Like I said, I bought that 38. Well, this one. Really didn't need it, but hey, man, this thing's a tack driver at 30 yards. Yeah, man. And that shocked the hell out of me with that little 4-inch barrel. Oh, Beth, I'll have to show you the war room one day. Uh, Let me get some things cleaned up. Yeah, the next live I do, I'll do from the war room. It used to be a walk-in closet, and now it's an armory. No, I didn't, Jamie. I've been kind of focused on the Oak Ridge fire, but no, I didn't hear about that. That don't surprise me though. I could probably take you to 3 or 4 different schools around here that somebody's packing. I'll check around. So that was in McQuarrie County, Jamie? I'm in Whitley County myself. I'm next door. If you go to a Walmart, you probably either go to my local Walmart or Oneida. Okay, I've got some friends over there. I can make some calls tomorrow. So how you like that new road coming across? Uh, what used to be 92. Pretty sweet, huh? Cut a lot of time off. But yeah, boys and girls. Like I said, a simple song got me thinking today. Then I heard what they done to Off the Wall, a couple other channels. Here we are, 10 guns deep. Ain't even glitched. This goes to show, right? If you're not monetized, they don't panic too hard. But if they're paying you, they want you to walk that line. Well, that's our local law enforcement, which we were voted in a Second Amendment sanctuary county 5 years ago, and our local law enforcement is more on our side than their side, so we're pretty good shape. Uh, they'll have their handful if they come to Kentucky wanting our shooters, and that's the general census. It's hard to take. See, a lot of our guns, some of mine, like the 45, it was my uncle's. It ain't going nowhere, right? Uh, ain't going to dismantle it. Ain't going to, no. A lot of our guns are heirlooms in Kentucky, hand me downs from grandparents, uncles. You know, everybody's first gun in Kentucky normally is a gift from a family member. So not only is it exactly 500 Magnum, and as you can tell, we normally collect a few around here. Like I said, this is just loose pistols laying around. Two ARs, two 12 gauge pumps, 20 gauge pump, 410 scout gun that folds completely up to go in your backpack, 22s out the hind end, 308. Yeah, there's about 40 of them in this little household. Oh, that ain't counting my daughters. Yes, I do trust my 17-year-old daughter with firearms. Oh, that's not a problem, Jessica. That's a bonus. The only problem I have with it, I can't collect them all, right? I'd love to make a trip to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. That's where Barrett makes the M107, right? Daddy wants one. Only problem is they're about 10 grand. Exactly, Jamie. Uh, Too many old hillbillies down here. And that part of the requisite of growing up in southeast Kentucky, you have to know every tree on every hill and every mountain for deer season. So yeah, we've done got the lay of the land mapped out. If I don't, my nephew does. If he don't, his brother does. So somebody's got. Oh yeah, I would too. 500 Magnum. That's sweet. Exactly, Jamie. Actually, that's one of our best shooting ranges. There's a strip pit. It's exactly 1 mile from one ridge to the next, and it tapers in, so you got shorter distances all the way back, and it goes about 2 miles in. Uh, so just depending on what range you want, you just walk further around the strip pit. Yeah, we normally have to take four wheelers and some good binos to target shoot that day. I've stretched the 308 out to about an eighth of a mile, but that's crazy distance for southeast Kentucky because of the bush. I mean, you got trees everywhere. You're not going to take an eighth of a mile practical shot in southeast Kentucky and not hit something besides a bush or a tree or somebody in the next town or your next dollar store. They're popping one up on every other road down here. Is it like that where you guys live? I mean, in my little, I would call it a subdivision, not or colony. Uh, we've got a Family Dollar, and now they're in the process of popping up a new Dollar General. Uh, then we're only 6 miles from actual city limits, and there's three in city limits. One by the interstate, one on out the road about five, about every 5 to 8 miles, we've got a Dollar General in Kentucky. I'm not a big fan of the high power. Don't get me wrong; it's a decent shooter, but as you can tell, my taste varies. I've got some cheap shooters. I've got some higher end shooters. They all serve a purpose. Like my Kel-Tec, if I throw it in the glove box and forget about it. Now CZ, yeah, those are sweet, Joe. Uh, it's a $200 shooter. But now, if my M&P or my SIG or my Judge took a walk, I'd be a little pissed off. Right, Jessica. Well, it seems like they're trying to compete now. Uh, you'll have a dollar store within walking distance, one or the other. Hey, CZs are hard to beat. What's that? I know the name of it. If I hadn't wanted to say it, Joe, I would have. Canic. Uh, they've got anything from the $200 cheap shooter to some very high end, exquisite. I mean, and I hate to say it, but I missed out on a deal on one here a while back. It was a Canic 9 mil, ported. Oh, she was pretty. Just couldn't come up with extra do re mi at the time, and she slid through my fingers. And it was a good deal too. I only wanted like 300. Well, now the G3. I had one personally, but I had a couple of the G2s, and I never had a problem. They run like new money. Eat just about anything you want to feed it. So, well, this one wasn't aggressive. That's what I liked about it. It was just bare, it wasn't gouged to death. It was just enough porting to say it was there. Now those scare me, Watchman. The little fold up, little, no, I don't want nothing that folds up that's made out of plastic in my hand when an explosive charge goes off. Not a good idea in my book. Now that would be nice, Magnum, but honestly, and this is coming from a true blue gun nut that believes totally in the Second Amendment. Some people just don't need full auto. Sorry, but it's true. Uh, I will agree that there are some people out there that do not need access. And that's coming from somebody that, I sleep with a loaded weapon 2 inches from my head every night. Well, I understand that, Joe, uh, but there's still people that really don't need access. Uh, like the asshole that walked into the school, or the cowards that stood in the parking lot playing with their trigger guard while that all went down. All those need stripped of their ability. Uh, but the level-headed folks, good people, yeah, wouldn't hurt my feelings to see it. Full auto M16 or hell a 240 saw hanging on a wall. But I don't need a cracker jack running around here, cranking rounds off a 50 BMG. No thanks. You might want to take that comment down, Jamie. Some of that stuff is still a no-no in some areas, and I hate to ask you to do that, but depending on the name of the trigger, shit, I know the one you're talking about though. It's when you squeeze it fires, when you release it's fire. Binary. There it is. Oh no, you're fine, Jamie. It's you didn't do nothing wrong. We don't want to get nobody else in trouble for something we say on a screen, right? Which I think binaries are still legal, but some of the other triggers, I know they've thrown a fit about a certain trigger group here a while back. I can't think exactly. What was that, Joe? That trigger group that they was bitching about. Was it the binary triggers? Well, I don't care to work with the authorities, uh, but I'm not going to submit to nobody. If they want to treat me, that's the one. But if they want to come in here and try to violate my rights, we're going to have a problem. And frankly, right now, my vest is a little bit better than what the local boys are wearing. So they're going to have to aim for upstairs. And most of these guys ain't good enough for that shot. Because I'm not going to stand there and say, here, they're going to have to work for it. But now, if they want to come up, shake my hand, and talk like a human being, I'm not going to turn anything over because I'm not going to let them violate my rights. And this kind of brings us full circle. This is the mentality we have to get in these younger people's brain box, right? Uh, it's one thing to follow the rules, but, work with the law, not be a narc, nothing like that. Don't get me wrong when I say that. Uh, just the law in general, right? That's the rules we all live by. But don't give up your rights. Don't be a doormat. And don't depend on the government tit for everything. So that brings us up to about an hour, boys and girls, and uh, I didn't stay on topic, but just a second. But we did manage to bring it back full circle, so we accomplished something tonight, right? But yeah, boys and girls, that's where we're at. Oh hell no, no, 7 days, shit. I gotta do that. I'll eat their food and watch cable TV, enjoy their air conditioning. 7 days. Good night, Beth. Rest well. Right. Yeah, because I mean, I hate to say it, Jamie, but it's getting to our school systems in deep southern Kentucky. I mean, we are in the asshole Appalachia here, and when it reaches us, you know it's got to be knee deep everywhere else, right? Uh, well, see, Watchman, most people generally know when they got a warrant. They know they've screwed up, and they know what paperwork could be waiting on them when they do say, well, yeah, I'll go pull my seven. If there's more hanging over their head, no, there's going to be a scuffle. But just a 7 day, which here lately, they've been given, what is it, 3 months? Yeah, 90 days for contempt of court, which uh, the one judge is given 120 days for contempt of court. So, yeah, I mean, if you mouth off in the courtroom, boom, you get a 3, 4 month vacation. Uh, Reading chat here just a little bit. Actually, well, I was in high school, early 90s. Wasn't bad. Which, back then, if you smoked a joint, you was the son of the devil, right? Different times. Different times. Hell, now they're, catching pot vapes everywhere. That's the least of their worries in high school. Kid here last week got busted with 2 grams of meth. Yeah, local high school. No joke. Well, honestly, Watchmen, if they're an attorney, they're corrupt, period. Watch them even closer because this is the local clique, right? If your lawyer knows the judge well or knows this other attorney well, more than likely your money's going to get split up and they're going to decide your fate without you. I've seen that many, many times. Well, it was a crystal powder they called meth, Joe. I'm not, I'm not, that never was my thing. But yeah, meth is asshole deep around here. That's true, Watchman. Once you squeeze that trigger, it's game on. It's no stopping, no turning back at that point. So you better uh, know exactly what you're doing. You better have your game plan on and better be set because hell's going to fall upon you in the worst way possible. You throw hot lead at a cop, more than likely you're a dead man. But that's why a lot of people say, I'll die on my feet before I live on my knees. whether they will or not. Oh, Snake Jones, this humans have been addicted to some form of drug. I mean, hell, right down to caffeine, nicotine. I mean, hell, they was snorting snuff in the 1800s, which don't ever do that. I tried it. It burns like hell. It sucks. Didn't do it on purposely, tried to get up the nose, but, they had a little spoon, that Bruton sweet snuff. Yeah, yuck, nasty. But yeah, that stuff goes everywhere, up your nose, in your eyes. I'll see how they do it. That's just about, well, after your contempt of court charge, more than likely, after that, they'll throw you into what they call drug court. Then, you got to jump through flaming hoops for another 6 months. You know, if they call you in at 2 o'clock in the morning, you got to go downtown, piss in a cup, or it's another contempt of court charge. It's a vicious cycle. Once they got you here in Whitley County, they've got you. They milk you dry. Hey, some of the best people I've ever met's been drug addicts, so I can't dog them. I mean, as long as they do them and don't have sticky fingers, I'm cool with them. Uh, when I was in residential construction, hell, everybody on the job, you know, I had this boy uh, worked for me for 8 years. As long as he had a pain pill that morning, he was good to go. He was rocking. But if he didn't, you might as well leave him at home. Dope sick. Couldn't get nothing out of him. It takes different types of people to make the world go round, right? So let them be them. But like I said, we got to get rid of all this. Like I said, Becky Sue wants to be Bobby Sue, and Bobby Sue wants to be Becky Sue, and God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, right? You was born what you was born for a reason. Everybody has their path, their own destiny. Unfortunately, a lot of them will never find that because they're hiding in mama's basement. We need to change that. We need to get in their heads and get them looking for that path and get them ready for the journey. And hopefully it don't require pink hair, purple hair, 15 nose piercings. Even seen a dude here a while back had a chain through each cheek going to each ear. Yeah, wanted to reach. Come here, boy. Show you. Let me show you what that's for. Come here. Right. Uh, I get crazy thoughts like that when I see dumb shit. Is it just me? But anyway, just walk up with a good to see you, Nanya. Walk up with a dog leash and just hook onto it and say, "Come on." Lead him around like a pony. Uh, I think that's why a lot of states are going constitutional carry magnum is to get around some of the other bullshit stuff that they're trying to hammer on. Exactly, Tamara. Just reach up. Come here. That would have to. Oh man. Oh, that would suck. You know. Yeah, that'd be a bad day. But still be fun to watch. Uh, uh, self mutilation stuff like that. Man, where did we go wrong? I mean, yeah, tattoos, but hell, tattoos have been tribal for centuries, and that's body art. Okay, but this, implants, that guy that made himself look like a damn lizard, split his tongue, and all this crap. Uh, we're part to blame there somewhere, Snake, because we let it happen. Exactly, cat without a hat. Uh, that dynamic worked too good for them. They had to drive a wedge in there, right? Uh, Everybody was starting to enjoy life too much. The whole nuclear family, right? Husband, wife, two kids, the white picket fence. The classic American dream. New car sitting in the driveway. Harley in the garage for the hubby. You know, well, I mean, I there's a limit to that, Watchman. You know, take Lizard Guy back in the early '70s and drop him out in the middle of Woodstock. See what happens. You're gonna have a bunch of tripping hippies. Oh my God, the aliens are here, right? He would have been shot within 30, 45 minutes because the cops would have come in and not understood what the hell he was. They would have sworn him down. They was killing an alien. That's the different standards of then and now. The difference between the moral values. And like I said, and the hippies would have went and got the cops because they'd been scared to death of him, right? Either that or too stoned to realize he was even there. But take Lizard Guy, put him in small town of Nebraska, early '80s. Probably wouldn't have made it through the town. Somebody had shot him for being an alien. There are certain things people just don't need to do. I understand they have a right to be creative. It's their body, do whatever, but I will, Joe. I'll check that out. They're taking it too far. They're going to the extreme and more. It's it's pitiful anymore. And yeah, we nod our head at it, or we'll make a video and bitch about it. But right here, it's on these. I'm not innocent. I let it happen too. It fell on us, and we handed it off to Google. Here you go. Watch this movie. Hush. I'm trying to drive. Exactly, Joe. Once you step in the shit, you're gonna smell the stink. I mean, that's all we are. Once you start throwing lead down range, it's game on. Regardless who it's at, you're gonna pay the consequence. If you win the fight, you're on the run. Then you're wanted. You're gonna be top of the FBI wanted list, right? Uh, right, Jamie. We try to mind our own, but now we can't because it's right here. Yeah, I kind of figured that, Joe. But it's going to get ugly before it gets better. At least we're going to start out with hurting feelings. Then you're going to have some crazy shit pop off. Then it's going to get ugly just to try to gain some rights back and keep the ones we've got. And if we don't train the backup, train the recruits, we still lost anyway. And on that point, boys and girls, let's try to get them ready to fill our shoes. That's all we can do. And hell, they're not even interested in it right now. That is badass, Tamara. Keep it up. That's right there. Right there is exactly what I'm talking about. Turn that shit off. Throw it away. Done. Jamie, you no. One person can change the tide. So yeah, I'm only one, but you can multiply. Plant the seed of thought. It will grow. That's why we do this, right? To get the thought out there, to bring it to people's attention. And like tonight, piss off YouTube, but I'm still amazed. You know, we're in 10 guns and nothing. Hell, I even cocked one or two of them. But boys and girls, I'm gonna light one more, and I'm gonna wish everybody a good night's rest, and we'll see you the next time around. Stay safe.